yo face. Show your face, please, with Durk on top.
Alright, y'all, now do not, and I repeat, do not catch a case with the boy Lil Durk. And shout out to someone that said this on IG, right? And I quote, "Blame that ish on Zoo." Then another user would say, quote, "I'ma say it again, put the bodies on Zoo, free Durk." And the sad part is that some people really have no regard for people's lives as long as their favorite celebrities get off free. Forget the fact that Bayzoo or anybody else have a family out there still that care for them. All some of y'all fans are concerned about is making sure your favorite celebrities is out and about, whether they are truly guilty or not. And it's kind of selfish when you think about it, but that's another story. Now, another comment was pretty interesting, and it all ties into this Bayzoo getting unalive theory and being co-Ds with Lil Durk, as one person would state, quote, "So that's why Durk had him unalive." Okay, I got it now. Either one of two things. They got him so he don't tell, or they got him because he told. Now, I don't think Zoo was a telling type, but this comment does show that people are accusing Durk of allegedly not playing fair when it comes to these crimes, and some may call it a conspiracy theory, but it's not like we are making it up at all. These are actual people posting and saying it themselves. So I found those comments interesting, and it actually made me come to this theory. And if y'all know anything, y'all know that that's been a running rumor concerning Lil Durk and his cases. We didn't make that up, but people say Durk like to put everything on the deceased. I mean, even in his song Red Man, he said it himself, where he would state, quote, "Man, Terry died in his sleep or fake perks, not no meds. They come around about bodies, gotta go blame ninjas who dead." Now, I don't know about y'all, but it's like keeping illegal activity a secret these days is no longer a thing. Dudes will give you the whole blueprint on how to commit a crime, get caught, and then blame everyone else except themselves, even after they done said it all in a Vlad or No Jumper interview. But aside from that, seeing those comments got me thinking, because it seems like everyone that catches a case with Durk all end up losing their life some way, somehow. And whether you want to call it a coincidence or not, this is actually something we can see for ourselves. I'm not even making this a conspiracy theory, I'm just pointing out something I realized, and those comments I seen had me come to this realization. With King Von, Bayzoo, hella bands, and I'm not jinxing anything, but let's keep an eye out on them guys he's currently incarcerated with, and they better hope that theory isn't true. And we're not going to sit here like the Fed documents didn't tell us that allegedly Lil Durk also said to go to O Block and catch anybody that they can, but the reason why they didn't do it is because the police was present. But once again, that's another story. Now in this video, we're going to talk about the latest that has come out in the OTF RICO, where now is being pointed out that allegedly THF Bayzoo, rest in peace, was actually called out to be co-conspirator 6 within this case, in which the feds are alleging that he was a part of a shooting targeting Quando Rondo along with Lil Durk after one of his shows in 2021, which would mean that Bayzoo and Lil Durk allegedly tried to unalive Quando before the incident we all know about that took the life of Lul Pab. Now, as y'all know, trial is coming up in August for these guys, so it's a few things that are now coming out more than ever. With us knowing a little concern in this case, I'd rather react to this video and give our opinion. Y'all let us know what y'all think about this towards the end. So y'all give this video a thumbs up, hype the video so we can get into the algorithm, and if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
After King Von was killed, all Lil Durk could see and hear was slide for Von. In every single one of his comment sections, he was taunted, and many believe he crashed out due to the overwhelming amount of pressure to get revenge for Von. But the feds are alleging that Lil Durk slid for Von immediately. And within the third superseding indictment, there is a little paragraph stating, alleging that Lil Durk tried to get Quando killed at the very first show he performed following Von's death.
Now, you know the crazy part about that is, now when you think about it, I forgot what song it was, but he actually alleged, we're gonna say alleged, that he been got back for Von, but nobody know about it. What song was that? But he said we got back for Von or tried to get back and y'all don't know about it, whatever the case may be. Just another one of those songs where He's saying a little too much.
Now again, this is the third superseding indictment of none other than Lil Durk. Scrolling down to the overt acts, number 1 would be dated on November 7th of 2020, the day after an associate of Quando shot and killed King Von. Defendant Banks, aka Durk, texted a co-conspirator, "I can't let this slide. I ain't letting slide. Von dying turned me into a different animal." Following the killing of Von on November 6, 2020, Durk used coded language telling co-conspirators that he would pay a bounty or monetary reward to anyone who took part in the killing of Quando Rondo.
Now, let me tell y'all right now, I don't know how true that is, right? But if the feds put it in paperwork, they're going to have to prove it. And I'm sure they must have text messages, screenshots, or whatever. But if they got him in text messages saying that, it's ball game, right? What more do you need to prove? It came from the horse's mouth, allegedly. So at the end of the day, once again, as I always say, their only job as a prosecutor is to paint a certain narrative to the grand jury. And as long as the grand jury believes whatever it is, then it's a wrap. So if he's on text messages and he's telling these guys he got a bounty, if that came from his own phone, it's not looking too good.
On or before January 21st, 2021, Durk filmed and starred in an unreleased clip of a music video titled Redman, in which Durk is depicted chasing and shooting an actor who looks substantially similar to Quando. In the video, as depicted in the below screenshots, Durk first views multiple online posts related to Von's death. After, Durk, who's seen wearing a mask, fires multiple gunshots directly at the Quando lookalike and executes him at short range. Now, taking a closer look at this, you can see Durk staring at his phone, in which there's multiple posts of Von's death. And then you see this acted out shooting in which a masked man is portrayed standing over Quando Rondo in the notorious all black Dickie fit with the hoodie. And this image.
Now, this what y'all gotta understand, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, the feds don't got nothing. Obviously, y'all don't know how the feds work. Y'all don't know how the law system works, whatever. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're just trying to paint a picture, right? This shows motive. This shows that there was a beef. This shows that these guys had tension. That whatever they are alleging or accusing Lil Durk of doing to these guys, this is the reason. Now, in the video, it shows him looking at his phone and him seeing pictures and blog posts of King Von getting unalive. And then now you have him in the video, or him depicting himself unaliving a man that looked like Quando Rondo. But then also, this is how crazy these guys are, because then Quando Rondo also did a video, Soul Reaper, where he shows himself creeping up on a guy that looks like Lil Durk and unaliving him. So what they just did, in which maybe they didn't know at the time, but what they did was put 2 and 2 together for the government. This just goes to prove that, yes, there was tension. Yes, these guys had a beef. And yes, these guys had motive. The motive would be King Von getting unalive. Crazy.
Imagery is significant because if you remember when Von was killed, what Lil Tim, the killer, was wearing, it was the same black Dickie fit, and Quando Rondo would have everybody dressed the same when he dropped End of Story. Obviously, End of Story was a play on King Von's songs Crazy Story, and this was really Quando's official response to the situation. He was quiet for a minute. A lot of people were like, all right, is he gonna come out and be like, yo, I didn't want that to happen? Is he gonna stand on it? And Quando stood on that shit with full force, reenacting and dressing up like the night Von was killed. So Durk having an actor literally wear that same outfit, you can see why this would be significant to the case. And again, it says that this music video was filmed on January 21st, but it was never released. Now, I have no idea if Quando got word, but that next month, February 12th, 2021, Quando would drop this song in which he basically has an actor who looks like Durk and they shot out of him. So both of these guys were making videos basically fantasizing on killing each other, but apparently Durk was the only one who was serious. But
Now, the question I have is why? Right? Why? Keep in mind, y'all, these are two grown men. A body was dropped. Somebody lost their life. And what they're doing is they're trying to entertain their fans. And in the midst of them entertaining their fans, guess what? They put themselves in spotlight of the feds. Now, I don't know what Quando Rondo got going on because it seemed like they didn't strike. But Lil Durk did. But it seems like what Quando Rondo did also played into the favor of the feds. So now that same stuff that they used to entertain their fans came back to haunt them.
The reason we're all here today for this video is on or about May 21st, 2021, defendants Banks and Grant, which is Durk and Vonnie, and co-conspirator 6, and others known and unknown conspired to kill Quando, resulting in multiple co-conspirators following Quando and his entourage at the Quando's concert near Blackshear, Georgia, and attempted to kill Quando with multiple firearms outside of a gas station. Now this is where everything is about to get crazy. Now Von was killed, I believe, November 7th, so this was only weeks after, and Quando was reacting to his show getting shut down by the police.
The fucking mail and the police done cancel the show, cuz that shit got me blowed. Cause we've been ready. On 6-0, we've been ready to put another, under.
You hear that? We've been ready to put another. Pay attention to what he said. We've been ready to put another ninja under. And it's funny because these guys really think that they're cool doing this. Right? And let me tell y'all something, right? If you pay attention to the paperwork and who they say were involved, Bayzoo, Durk, OTF Vonnie, and a couple others. How else would the feds know about this shooting if they wasn't told? Right? Because nobody was caught for it. So the only thing I believe is that one, OTF Vonnie, because it already came out that he may be cooperating with the feds, he had to be the one that told. Either him or somebody else that was around for that drill. But they had to tell because nobody was caught for that shooting. Who else would know? Either Quando and his guys, but then again, they probably don't know where it came from. But at the end of the day, it's either OTF Vonnie or somebody associated with OTF.
I mean, even what he just said, they're all dressed like Lil Tim, and he said, we've been ready to put another one under. Basically, we ain't scared of nothing, we ain't ducking nothing, and we'll kill another one of y'all. But again, that was literally weeks after Von was killed in 2020. Fast forward to May of 2021, he was able to book a show in Georgia, and this is how it played out. So a flyer was released, Quando Rondo performing live, and it was gonna be a bunch of NBA guys. You know, you had BBG Baby Joe, you had NBA Michi Baby, and you know, this is young boys people. The show is in Georgia. It's dated. Where the show is gonna be is on the flyer. Everybody knew where this was gonna be at, and Quando did not come unprepared.
Fuck the meat of the block.
Not playing.
Right here. I'm gonna meet y'all boys in the front. Big bro, you the last one?
Now, it wasn't that easy to see what all was going on, but Quando was saying, fuck the media, fuck the blogs. And everyone that was there, that's not like people waiting to watch the show. That's everyone he pulled up with. He pulled up allegedly 100 deep, and he also had armed security with rifles, like real actual security guards. And then he had all of his goons with them. So they were prepared for the street, illegal, every kind of that there was. You know, this wasn't like the gas station where they all look like Lil Tims and they're ready to kill. No, they had real security there too.
One thing I would say, it's not like we seen him duck any show that he had after that. Right? That's one thing I would give Quando. When it came to him performing or any performance that they said that he was going to be at, he was actually there. I'll give him that.
Now, the show would go viral for being his first live show since the killing of, Vaughn, but it would go viral for all the wrong reasons because it was basically empty with people saying the fans were scared to show up to the show. And for good reason, because apparently, according to the feds, people were waiting for Quando to leave so they could kill him. TMZ would be first to post Quando Rondo shot at in Georgia. Quando Rondo and his entourage were caught in a hail of gunfire at a convenience store in Georgia, and one man in his entourage was wounded. According to law enforcement sources, the shots rang out at around 3:20 a.m. Sunday in Blackshear while Quando and his crew were in a parking lot off the highway. Cops believe the shooter opened fire from across the road or from the highway. Our sources say police aren't aware of any bullets striking Quando because he was not at the scene when cops responded, but we're told he was in the parking lot before the shooting. The rapper was traveling with a large entourage, and we're told one man in the group was shot in the hand and got treatment at a local hospital. It's interesting, law enforcement says it appears Quando and his crew weren't at the convenience store long before shots rang out, and cops believe they were making a quick stop when the shooting started. As we reported, cops say Quando Rondo's crew was involved in a November shootout with King Von's entourage outside an Atlanta nightclub, which left Von dead. One of Quando's crew members was arrested for felony murder. Sunday morning shooting happened about 10 minutes from the nightclub where Quando performed Saturday night, and we're told the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is on the case. So Quando performed at this empty-ass club, left with all of the people that he came with, pulled up to a convenience store, gas station, etc. Shots go off. They're literally 10 minutes away from the club, pull up to a gas station, somebody or a group of people get to firing, and one of Quando's people gets hit in the hand. Now keep in mind, this shooting happened on May 21st of 2021. 2 months before the shooting, Durk dropped the song Hellcats and Trackhawks, in which he said, "Search for his gun, where his pole at? We on his ass, where his shows at? He get away, we on his ass, where he parole at." Now, Durk's lyrics are definitely getting fully examined within this case, and the fact that he's saying basically in the song, alluding to, we on his ass, where his show's at, we're waiting on him to book something, and then when Quando actually is able to book a show, he gets shot at. I mean, the feds are alleging Durk was sliding immediately.
Now, let me tell y'all this, right? If we could look at this and put 2 and 2 together, what do you think the feds are doing? Right? I say this all the time, even when we talk about situations before the feds get involved or police, any type of law enforcement. When we see these guys say certain things in their lyrics, we always say, if we are able to dissect it, what do you think them guys who get paid very, very, very good money to do what they're doing, which is to investigate these guys, what do you think they're doing? If it's easy to us, what do you think it is to them? Right? And these guys do it to themselves. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's just lyrics. They can't use lyrics. How not? We've seen it plenty of times. Everybody think that these guys can't use lyrics, but time after time, we see them use it. Now, is it enough to get a conviction? No, but it's enough to paint a narrative, and that's all they need, right? It's enough to paint a narrative, and that's all they want to do. And 1 + 1 = 2, y'all. You talk about a show that this guy is performing at, y'all on him, and come to find out it's right around the same time the song was dropped. Come on. Come on.
Any chance possible, they were trying to kill Quando. Now, again, this was Durk, Vonnie, and co-conspirator number 6. Well, my boy Trap Lord Ross has broken down that THF Bayzoo is confirmed as co-conspirator number 6 in paperwork accusing Durk and Bayzoo of trying to kill Quando in 2021.
Okay, the paperwork just came out saying Lil Durk and individual number 6, co-conspirator 6, all right, and Grant, which is OTF Vonnie, says that those are the guys that organized the hit on Quando Rondo on May 21st, 2021 after he played his first show in Blackshear, Georgia. I've been telling you for a couple of years now that Lil Durk was responsible for that shooting. But co-conspirator number 6, people wondering who that is THF Bayzoo. Some people saying there's no proof. I'm going to show you the proof. 100% co-conspirator 6 is THF Bayzoo, and this is why.
You know what I found funny? When I see Traveler Ross and people used to say, oh, Hookah, you're not from Chicago. But then this guy's not even from the country, right? And somehow he's welcomed with open arms. And shout out to Traveler Ross. I got no gripes with him. I'm just saying it's kind of funny. But when he says he's been saying it for years, that's kind of crazy. I wouldn't put that out there, but that's another story. But if you know, you knew who co-conspirator 6 was when it came out in the paperwork. In fact, this has been a running thing on Reddit for the longest. They've been saying this. I've seen this on Reddit years ago. So I never seen Traveler Ross say it. However, he said he did years ago. Maybe he did, but this been a thing.
Because in addition to the attempt on Quando's life in 2021, they also added this 2019 February 5th situation. This was where King Von and Lil Durk caught their attempted murder charges in Atlanta. There were only 4 people there that day. Lil Durk, Banks, you see Banks, King Von, Davon Bennett, they got DB there. Co-conspirator 6, who I think is THF Bayzoo, but people are saying, how can you be sure that's him? Well, the only other person who was there that day was a guy called AAB Hella Bands, right? This happened in 2019, and then they tried to kill Quando in 2021, and they saying co-conspirator 6 was in on that. Well, AAB Hella Bands, he got shot and killed on May 14th, 2019, so there ain't no way that he's co-conspirator 6. So that's confirmed it, that THF Bayzoo was co-conspirator number 6, and he was in on the hit where they first tried to kill Quando Rondo in 2021. But here's what I'm wondering. Why didn't THF Bayzoo get arrested with Lil Durk and them? If he on paperwork, they saying that he tried to organize a hit, why didn't he get picked up before he passed away? Obviously, rest in peace to Bayzoo. You know, he's not here, but that's so strange. Like, why wasn't he on this case? It's super confusing, but he was number 6 because can't be him.
That's a good question. The only thing I could think about is they didn't have enough evidence to charge him. Like, it's one thing to know something, but it's another thing to prove it. And in the court of law, it's not what you know, it's what you could prove. So whether they know he did or had any type of knowledge, they had to have enough evidence to prove it, and maybe they just didn't have enough evidence. I'm not sure.
And that's crazy to think about because Zoo was killed, you know, obviously after Durk was locked up. And if Zoo was actually picked up on this case, he would be alive to this day. You know, that's one of the sad realities of prison and getting locked up is it keeps a lot of people alive that are on a path in life that only ends with death. Now, am I surprised that Zoo would be involved in this? I'm really not, because Zoo and Durk had a very close relationship, as did Zoo and Von. And when Zoo died, Durk was locked up. Durk was in the feds. So Durk gets the news most likely through a jail call. He's not gonna be able to go to the funeral. He's not able to call any of Zoo's family. He's not able to talk to Zoo's son. These were friends, brothers for years. And Zoo was killed in a crazy situation. And I had actually talked to Zoo a couple of times on the phone. I believe I still have his number in my phone. I literally still got him in there. But that's how this lifestyle plays out. Zoo wasn't playing. Zoo was accused of, you know, having killed some people, whatever. So I'm not surprised. But I'm wondering, the same situation where how it was Durk and Von in the Atlanta shooting and they were the actual ones accused of doing it. Are they saying that Durk, Vonnie, and Zoo pulled up and shot? Or they organized it and had other people do it? That really hasn't been clarified in this situation. But what they are saying is Durk tried to kill Quando immediately at the very first show, and somebody did get shot. And Durk is literally rapping, hey, we're gonna catch you at one of these fucking shows. We on his ass where his show's at. He get away, we on his ass where he paroles at. They were trying to do what they did. And
he said they were trying to do what they did. Allegedly.
Some way, somehow, It just wasn't Quando's time. He survived more than one attempt on his life, obviously lost Lul Pab in the process. Quando just got released to a halfway house. And imagine being him, hearing all these details coming out on how much not even one person, but an entire group from Chicago with money behind them has been trying to kill you for years. And not for nothing, if we're gonna keep it 1,000, I've spoke to Quando Rondo too. I've talked to the man on the phone on FaceTime, and I'll be honest with you, he's cool. He's cool people. He doesn't come off overly gangster. Like, I remember talking to Zoo, and Zoo was straight up like, man, I'm a gangster. This the life I live. Da, 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 da. Like, he just, that's how he was. He was very aggressive, not towards me, but just his demeanor in general. He's letting it be known because we were speaking around the time people were trying to accuse him of ratting, you know, and he reached out to me and whatever. But when I spoke to Quando, he reached out because I dropped the video actually.
You know what's crazy? Like I said earlier, Zoo don't strike me as somebody that will tell. Let's be real, right? But we also got to be honest that whole case and situation where he got caught with the switches, unloading them with the guns and all, that was a little sketchy. I don't know about it. I'm not going to say I don't know what happened. I'm just saying that whole situation, it always was a little weird.
Speaking up for him. And he was like, yo, I appreciate that, because at the time, Durk basically had the whole industry against him. And we just chopped it up and had a conversation. He was a cool dude, humble. He didn't come off overly ganged out and none of that extra shit. He just seemed like cool people. And it made me believe he really didn't even want this situation to happen, because at one point he was cool with Vaughn. But I think this thing played out how it played out, and he didn't have a choice but to pick a side and stand on it. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section.
All right, y'all, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said earlier, the reason why I wanted to react to this, because we already kind of touched bases on this, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents in this instead of doing the whole video, because as y'all know, we can't really give our opinions because people just want to hear the news. It is what it is. But this is definitely an interesting situation, because we will learn that the feds actually have more than what a lot of people think. And like I said before, a lot of people are downplaying it. Oh, the feds don't got nothing. Y'all got to wait until the trial comes. Right? They wouldn't have denied this man a bond 3 times if they didn't have nothing. This man offered multiple millions, whether it was assets, cash, the whole 9 yards. And they said, no, we don't want that. Then on top of that, as soon as OTF Diddy called himself trying to get a bond hearing, they said, well, no, because we got this. I'm pretty sure his lawyers didn't think that they had that as well. But maybe they pulled a strategic move. Maybe because if y'all remember, they wanted to know what the feds had. They kept trying to rush it, rush the trial, speedy trial. Y'all remember that. So maybe this was a play for them to find out what they actually have on OTF Diddy. But in fact, they got pretty much bad news. Now, whether you got OTF Diddy doing anything, they say that 45 minutes after the shooting of Lul Pab, they had OTF Diddy along with one of the other suspects in the shooting at In-N-Out Burger, ordering food like nothing just happened. So how are you going to explain that? No, I didn't have nothing to do with it, but I was with one of the guys that were involved in it 45 minutes ago. And then the information that they have on that shooting, like I said before, that happened before we all knew about the shooting with Lul Pab. How did they know about that? It had to be somebody involved with OTF that gave these guys the drop on what happened. And it just makes you think, what else they know? Right? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, man. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out. Are you tired of a bunch of social media gurus promising you results with their course, but all they do is take a bunch of information off YouTube and Google, then sell it to you? Well, look no further. Our YouTube Tips and Tricks Masterclass course comes equipped with SEO tips and tricks, along with methods we use to growth hack our YouTube channel. It also includes step-by-step ways to publish your video before uploading to guarantee a great SEO score, therefore your videos can rank and be shown to a bigger audience. Views and subscribers don't come by luck, and just how YouTube have an algorithm, you should have one as well that can guarantee you results. We doing websites and softwares we personally use to generate money creating Faces YouTube channels. If you also would like to skip the process and just buy other pre-built accounts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we also threw that in there for you too. We went through trial and error, so you don't have to. Click the link in the description or the comments and get started today.